Hello and welcome. This is episode number 4 of Soul Freedom Journeys. Byron, how's it
Good
going?
morning. Very well. Good morning. Broadcasting today from Malaysia after a beautiful week
Yay.
in the Indonesian islands.
Yeah. Are you in KL or in Penang right now?
I am in Kuala Lumpur, in a suburb southwest of KL.
Oh, okay. Nice. I know that place. Very nice. Okay. Today we're gonna introduce Soul Freedom key number 4. And by the way, thank you so much for those who have sent us questions. We will reply one of them. Actually, Daryl D'Souza from Earth Keepers Connect. Thank you so much for your question. It's coming up soon. So before we dive into key number 4, Byron, is there anything you want to share with us in terms of soul freedom?
I have been privileged this past week to have been on vacation. And, when you're sitting on the beach and you're looking out at the vastness of the sea,
Mm.
it's very easy to start, philosophizing and asking the big questions like, why am I here? What's my purpose? And am I really living up to my calling? And the one thing that I realized, which was very significant, because it was my wife's birthday and that was the main reason for the vacation,
Mm.
in that week we really had a time to just put aside everything, our businesses, our families, and really realize how much we were made to be together. We really got to that space of my soul and your soul here.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. And it was
Oh.
amazing. It just felt so natural to be in that realization again.
Um,
So that to me was, a sign that my soul is not enslaved.
mm,
I have found the woman that I was supposed to be with. And even after 8 years of being together, it still feels as fresh as the first month.
I'm so glad for you and Melinda. Melinda, I know you're watching this. I'm so happy for you, sis. Oh, it's so great. And actually, oh, it's making me blush, I think, a bit. And then you maybe you who's actually watching this video may be asking, okay, so you guys are supposed to be talking about soul freedom and entrepreneurship. Wow, love life is part of, yeah, life. And as entrepreneurs, also we get to enjoy love. That will come up later, yeah, in the videos. But meanwhile, yeah, oh, Byron, thank you so much for sharing that. It melted my heart. It's like, oh, I'm so happy for you guys. Oh, and that's the thing, when we allow ourselves for that space to enjoy our soul freedom, wonderful things can happen. And one of the reasons why Brian and myself, we decided to do this broadcasting in form of, video podcast is so that we will love more people, more of you, really enjoying life to the max. Because life is no guarantee. Time is so precious,
Mhm.
and yeah, those special moments with our loved ones are just such a treasure, really. Yeah, one day you're here, tomorrow you don't know, in 1 hour you don't know. I mean, we hope that you're still here. I mean, myself having faced death so many times in my life, that actually has really taught me to appreciate every moment
Yeah.
and the time that we get to enjoy the presence of our loved ones is that's such a is soul nourishment. Yeah.
Mhm.
And yeah. Oh, thank you.
And
Anything you
because
want
at the end
to
of the
say?
day, the entrepreneurs, they'll, when they ask, why did you do this? It's not usually because, oh, I wanted to solve this big problem, or, this opportunity was sitting there and I realized I had to capture it. A lot of times they did it because of somebody else. They did it for their family, they did it for their loved ones, they did it for their parents. I mean, there was always somebody close to them that was their inspiration to follow through with that. And we're no different. I believe that we do a lot of what we do because of the people around us.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. That's why with Byron, we said we want to have more soul in business. We share that. That's our value, right? And that's why we're sharing this. We want more soul in business, less ego. And in order to have more soul and less ego, well, we have to understand what ego is and what ego is not. So that's actually the purpose for sharing this. And that's also why on every episode Byron gets to pick messages from these cards that actually took me a couple of years to download. There are more. The ones that we're gonna use are these ones. And yeah, ego and soul are they're both very important. It's not that in our world, in our life, it has to be either or. We can have both, but we need to learn how to navigate with both. And therefore, we need to understand what ego is, what is not. Otherwise, if there is confusion around it, guarantee that ego will just trip you over without even knowing you. And I speak from experience, personal experience with ego, and also by teaching. How has been your experience, Byron, about ego and soul?
Ego and soul. I
Yeah.
mean, that's pretty vast question. um, so the first thing that comes to mind is the desire to do something
Mm.
really for the sake of doing it versus the desire of doing something because somebody's going to say, bravo, good job, I'm proud of you.
Mm.
And at the beginning, I didn't see that distinction. Like when I first started my career as a professional, first as an entrepreneur, then I became a corporate employee for a few years and then went back to being an entrepreneur. Um, there was many times I was driven by, my boss is going to be proud of me, or my client is going to be satisfied. And to me, that comes across really as being and the ego's experience. At
Mm.
first, it didn't really, like, the distinction didn't appear. It's only later on, I would say maybe in the last decade, that I've started to see the structural difference between the two. It's
Mm.
like when the ego is involved in my pursuit of, I don't know, developing a new course or delivering something to the best of my abilities, there's expectations from others that I'm more concerned about than just like really delivering the best for
Mm.
that person's needs. When I take the ego out of the way and I'm really focused on, okay, if I was sitting in that person's shoes, what would I want to learn or what would I be aiming for as an experience? I find that the quality of the delivery gets exponentially better.
Mm.
And what's fascinating is this: when it's ego, I can tell you exactly what I said. Like, this is what the script was, and here's what the content was. When the soul kicks in, and for example, as a trainer, I'm sitting in front of a group and I'm talking, I'll say stuff. And then after that, it's like, what did I just say? So clearly, I'm channeling another part of myself. And I use the word channeling very loosely. I know that word is charged, but there's definitely something else speaking through this vessel than my firsthand experience with my I, with my ego.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you so much for that distinction, Byron. And yeah, it is just like that. As you said, when ego is involved, there is something that we have to really be careful about. We have
Mm,
the critical mind gets really involved in that. However, when the soul it's operating through us, then it's just very smooth and it's very efficient in the sense
mm,
that whatever is communicated, it's pure and it's very clear. It is
mm,
clean.
mm,
So there is no need for justification of say whatever was said or whatever was shared, right?
mm,
It just and then the effect on people who receive the message is like that. It's like people do get it. It's just and it's not getting it from the critical mind. It's getting
mm,
it from here. It becomes a soul to soul communication
mm,
and I must say this is not, a fluffy stuff. This is actually very factual, and probably you have experience, you, the beautiful viewer, you probably have had the experience where whenever you were really centered, very calm and very connected with yourself, beautiful words just started just flowing out of your mouth. Like, and even yourself, probably you were surprised, as in, wow, did all that wisdom came out of me? And the answer is yes, because that's actually your soul speaking through you. And these actually lead us to presenting key for freedom, soul-based key for freedom, number 3, which is your intuition that you must follow through. Yep. Intuition, you can think of intuition as the voice of your soul. And this actually is the answer to the question posted by our dear friend and brother Daryl from India. Daryl D'Souza from Goa, Earthkeepers Connect. And the question is, how can we know when to persist when faced with an obstacle, or when to just go with the flow? That was your question, Darren, and we really appreciate your question. Because this is the idea, the whole idea for this channel is that we can interact like this. So you guys give us questions, we answer. So let's keep that ball rolling, okay? So I will read the question again. How can we know when to persist when faced with an obstacle, or when to just go with the flow? So I just gave you key number 3, which is intuition. When you're following through your intuition, which is the voice of your soul, you will know exactly. So Byron, what experience do you have? Like you facing obstacle, or not just one maybe, or several obstacles, right? When do you know, is it good for me to keep on persisting? Do I go with the flow? What do I do? Have you had that experience?
Many times. And there's no black and white answer. Every situation is going to be unique. So I've had it in business pursuits. I've had it when I was an employee. I've had it when I've done things for leisure. It's like, should we be going on this trip or not? And here's the way I've experienced it. If I do all the calculations and all the analytical comparisons, and option A is the better one, but the voice of my soul is saying, and I listen to that voice, often it was the correct thing to do.
Yeah.
So I will not go with option A. I will go with another option, or I won't do it at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I also found that when option A looked like a bad idea, but my intuition said, no, that is the correct path. If I followed my intuition, I would realize that, yeah, I wasn't seeing the whole picture. That was the correct thing to do. It's just that I didn't have enough information, or so it's like following the voice of the soul has proven to me that it's more efficient and usually leads to better results long term. So if I can summarize that one more time, if the ego is saying, yeah, go with A, but the intuition says no, better not go. Yeah. If the ego says, yeah, go with A, and the intuition also says, yes, go with A, then usually you have a winner there. Because it's like, not only is the soul saying, yes, that's the correct thing to do, but also you've done the analytics, so the mind is quite comfortable with the result. It won't balk at it.
Thank you for sharing that. I can recall a time when I was pushing for a big purchase. I used to do import-export business when I lived in Japan. And not following my intuition, but following ego's advice to, push for some more. Oh, anytime you hear this, some more, You better watch. Okay. So then I had this customer, Japanese customer. So he ordered a very large order of alpaca rugs and other things. And my intuition was telling me, don't go for it. So I ignore it. And guess what happened? I lost a container of goods. Oh my God. That was so stressful. And I was wishing that I never did that, but it was too late. Yeah. So then instead of say getting a large revenue, I actually end up losing a lot of money, stressing myself like crazy, and losing a very important customer. So that was a big lesson. So ego can come and talk to you in ways that may entice you and make it look so good. Yeah, but you have to really be very calm. That's why, well, let's just recap on these three keys that we have shared so far. Gotta keep your equanimity. Gotta keep your mind actually very calm. So you can actually be very present, and by being present, you can really follow through your intuition. Yeah. So these keys do apply. You can apply them not just in your business, in your endeavors. You can actually also apply this on your personal life, for sure, right? And likewise, there have been times when I have listened to my intuition, not follow through, and then have saved myself from trouble. So you can actually, and this is actually, mm, you can learn to apply this by practicing it. There's no other way. You have to practice.
I want to come back to Daryl's question because the example, we both gave was about choosing something in a
Mm,
one period of time, like at a specific point in time. I want to pick this. My interpretation of Daryl's question sounds like, I have an idea that I want to pursue. Should I keep going even though I have all these obstacles, or should I stop? And
yeah.
I'd like to share another quick one, if I may.
Yep.
So when I first started my career as a corporate trainer, both in Canada and then repeated the process again in Singapore, those early years were difficult
Mm,
because going from like being an employee to being self-employed and needing to look for my customers and revenue going up, going down, going up, going down. Those initial years are difficult. So let me just use the second round of that experience, which happened in Singapore in the early 2011, 2012 period. I wanted to do this. It's like, to me, this is the lifestyle that I wanted and the kind of contribution that I could make to society. So the early 2 years were like difficult. Like, I never knew when my next check was going to come in, and I was just building up my name. And the only reason I did pursue was because I did not listen to my ego and I went ahead with my intuition. Because a few times in those early years, I got offers that were a lot more appealing to go
mm,
back and have a corporate job.
mm,
However, I knew that I had chosen the correct path. And because I knew it, like it was really soul entrenched, I made the opportunities happen, or they showed up. Like, frame it the way you want. I had one contract. Then I met a guy at the end of a triathlon race, and he told me that he was starting a training center and that he needed help with the project management. So I went and helped him with that. And that led to having a very long term relationship, which led to a lot of revenue from his company to me. So it's like I knew that that's the path, and I let the distractions, yeah, okay, it's interesting, but no, this is the way, and opportunities have come. So yes, um, if the message is clear, it's like the intuition is there. Yeah, this is what I should be doing. This is what I want to be doing. There will be obstacles. Just keep walking. Yeah, just keep walking. The solutions will come. The partners will come. The alliances will come. The obstacles will get pushed aside somehow.
yeah. Thank you, Byron, for sharing that. And Daryl, and for all of you who are actually facing a similar situation where you are pursuing, say, your life path, your purpose, your business, whatever it is, right? And then obstacles keep on coming, because there is also the situation whereby obstacles show up to tell you that's not the way. Perhaps it's the way that you are doing things that are inviting obstacles to show up. So then the invitation here is just to step back, relax, right? Go back to equanimity, be very present, listen to your intuition, and really have a conversation with your soul. You can ask soul, so what would you do? Just ask. And then if you don't get the answer right away, be patient. You gotta be patient, but you gotta persist on having and establishing this communication with your soul, right? And then also you got to be quite present so that you will not be confusing your ego's voice for your soul's voice. I'm gonna give you a very important, not just key, but a principle. So how to differentiate if your soul is talking or ego is talking, because ego can be very sneaky and can pose as your soul. The message that you get from soul, it's always clean, it's clear, and it's short. It's to the point, okay? It doesn't have to justify anything. It doesn't have to elaborate. Yeah, you remember this? Remember message? Watch the previous episode where this is the message from ego. Ego will always ask you to do more and to elaborate and to decorate more. Never enough. Okay? And the message from soul is that whatever your genuine you, which is also your intention, that it's enough. You don't need to decorate. Okay? So then just ask soul, so what will you do? Okay? And then the answer that you get, when it gives you certainty and you will feel some form of calmness and peacefulness, then you know it's your soul talking. When you feel stressed, you get agitated, or you get into trouble, then you know that was ego in action. Okay. And the only way to differentiate these two is just by going through the process. But just be very, very present. Okay. Be very, very present. And please watch out for the next episode, because in the next episode, I'm going to share a key that actually complements all of this. So, okay, make sure that you tune in, and you have to actually press on that bell, the notification bell, if you haven't yet, so then you'll be notified when the next video comes up. And I hope that you have subscribed already and have given thumbs up. Yeah, I learned the secret. Anyway, so that's about it for this episode. Byron, is there anything you want to share before we say see you till next episode?
At the moment, no, all is good.
Oh, well. Thank you so much. Thank you, Byron, for being here with us. And thank you, wonderful viewer, for being part of our community. Please make sure that you share this video with that special someone that you know will appreciate this information. So together we can make this world a wonderful, wonderful place for all of us. So thank you so much. More soul into business, less ego. Yay. Let's go for that motto, okay? So see you next. Thank you.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.